Welcome to the Film Slice podcast. You're listening to a podcast about films and we review them. And so Film Slice, but I have a bit of a slice of films.
Hey team, Angus Draken here, and welcome to the Film Slice podcast. With me, I've got my co-host, Kane Diggly Dilly Dooley Gang Dogs, and Birdmeister Man Ruby Duper Richards.
Richie's fine.
Richie, g'day Richie. And today's topic, we're talking about Coco, Disney. Oh well, no, not Disney. Pixar. Coco.
Oh, Disney's Pixar. Yeah.
Yeah, Disney's Pixar. Coco, not someone else's Pixar. All right, Cane Dogs, hit us off with a summary.
All right. Aspiring musician Miguel.
I
was like Manuel. Lin-Manuel. Aspiring musician Miguel, confronted with his family ancestral ban on music, enters the land of the dead to find his great-great-grandfather, a legendary singer.
When you see the movie, what did you think? Do you like the movie? None of the shit.
Birdman, start with you.
2 days ago, really early in the morning, I think I was one of 3 people in the cinema.
Awesome.
Yeah, the cinema was quite empty when I saw it as well because, as I said, it's really past the peak of it, which means a lot of people are on their phones. One little girl next to me had lost interest so much to the point where she was just doing the Cup song on her lap during the film.
Look, you would have loved that, John.
She was in the wrong movie.
It's your favourite song. It's a reference to your other favourite film.
Look, if you
your favourite trilogy.
Yeah, favourite trilogy.
Best trilogy.
I've got the posters on my wall. Did you see this by yourself?
Yeah.
Was that weird?
Not really, because there was like no one in the cinema.
I don't think I've ever gone and watched a movie by myself.
Really?
Yeah.
You saw it with your gluten-free?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think I've ever seen a movie by myself.
I do it all the time. I love it.
Yeah.
If I go to see it with people, they distract me, and then I don't get engulfed into the film. I think that's my problem. I get so sucked into the film that I forget to critique it. I'm just like, all right, I'm here. What are we doing?
You're a movie critic. You've enjoyed everything ever. Yeah, you will enjoy everything ever.
It's just like paying a bit more money to like watch a film on a bigger TV.
Yeah,
it's like pretty much so. It's like no difference.
Except with a bunch of strangers.
That when there's no one in there, it's usually way too loud because they totally expect all of the seats to be filled, and then people will just like absorb the sound. But as soon as there's only like 3 people in there, it's like this is way too loud. This is piercing my ears. This is crazy.
When did you see it?
I saw it yesterday. Oh no, I saw it 2 days ago. Sorry. So 2 days ago with my gluten-free at a cinema that I've never gone to before. Ooh. Which, man, this cinema was like high tech. It was crazy. So it was like just like wasn't gold class or anything, but all of the seats were reclinable, which was crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it was really awesome. Really new. They must have just had an upgrade and stuff. And the candy bar was a self-serve candy bar, so you just like grab your popcorn, grab your whatever drink you want, fill it up yourself.
Really?
And then you go and pay for it yourself. Yeah, I reckon we should all go one day.
Can't wait for 20 years when that comes to our hometown.
Don't be silly, it's never coming to our hometown.
Yeah. In 20 years, we'll have better TVs.
One thing I do want to tell you about, though, is on the car on the way here, Brody was like, wait, Coco's that animated film with the music, right? And I played it straight and was like, what are you talking about?
No, it's like this Mexican hitman.
You guys just said Coco, and I was like, yeah, I'll see that. So then I just went and saw a film called Coco, because I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about this film. We didn't talk about it at all, and I was like, I hope I saw the right film.
Okay, so we're going with spoiler-free thoughts first of all. First impressions of the movie, Birdman, Richie.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Nothing super amazing. Nothing really bad. It was just kind of a nice, like, okay family film.
Once again, can I just say, we went for the trifecta of musicals. Got the trifecta.
We did it.
We
said at the first one,
got the hat trick.
No more. And then we thought, let's do 2 more.
Yep, so we did it. And Birdman has not changed his
no, this wasn't as bad as the last 2.
No, that's good.
This one was okay.
Are there any more musicals to come out in February?
Oh, probably, yeah.
That's a good question. Yeah, I can look that up now.
No,
all right, Cane Dogs, give us your thoughts.
I liked it.
Yeah?
I actually really enjoyed it. I think the music was enjoyable, and at the same time, the music is something I want to talk about. But generally, I really enjoyed the music. The characters, I thought, for the most part, were really strong and fleshed out. It looked beautiful. It's probably the film I enjoyed the most since we did Welcome to the Jungle. Put it that way.
Since our first ever episode.
Since our first episode where we did a movie I kind of liked. No, I enjoyed this
cool.
one. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Cool. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I enjoyed this one too.
I'm surprised.
Is that 4 for 4 for you, Angus?
Yeah, that's 4 for 4.
Hey.
I liked all of them. It'll be interesting to find a movie that I don't like, actually.
Yeah.
Is there a movie
I just get stuck into movies.
Off the top of your head, what movie don't you like? If you say Terminator, I'll beat you to death.
It's a bit full on, John.
Anyway, my opinion of the film, long way around. I really enjoyed it. We did say that it was a musical. I found the music was quite forgettable, to be honest.
Yeah.
However, it was very authentic, which I did enjoy. The other thing that I found authentic was all of the voice actors. They were all kind of, from Mexico or had that heritage.
Bring that up. There was
which
no
was really
whitewashing,
nice.
which was good. It'll be one of those movies that really stumps you on Disney Trivial Pursuit one day.
Yeah.
But what I played that recently.
I hope I never play that.
It's a laugh.
We're playing that. We're going to do a live podcast.
Disney Trivial
playing
Pursuit.
Disney Trivia Pursuit.
I think I'm sick, Angus. Oh no.
Brody will be
I'm
sick
sick for the next
Yeah,
6
no.
to 9 months.
We can replace Brody, can't we? He's very replaceable.
Oh, thanks.
No, I get what you're saying with the music. One of the things I actually really liked about it is that the music didn't feel force-fed to me. Like, I didn't feel like this movie was 50% a story and 50% trying to sell an album. I know who buys albums, I do. But I didn't, I really enjoyed Moana, but at the same time, you can recognize that a lot of that movie was to sell the music.
Yeah, and it's not a musical in the sense that they just kind of break off into song for no reason kind of
that's
thing.
what I really enjoyed about it.
If they're singing, they've picked up a guitar, they've got the instruments, and people are expecting them to sing kind of in reality, which
It's an
brought
actual
a
performance.
type of realism to it as well, which was, really nice. So it wasn't like your classic kind of Disney
They just
film where they just
sing everything they're
break
doing.
into song and
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this didn't feel like a musical to me. This felt like a film about musicians, which is very kind of, I guess, a small difference.
Yeah, definitely. Apparently, Coco has been the longest in production on record for Disney Pixar. So it started in 2011 production. Coco.
That really surprises me because I didn't feel like this has any new... Like, don't get me wrong, the color palette is different. Outside of that, I didn't feel like this was revolutionary or new in terms of the animation.
I mean, it was visually stunning, which was...
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
But I guess at the same time, it'd be interesting to put that up against something, say, like Frozen, and how long that was. I think that was only 2 or 3 years compared to this.
So how long is that? 2011. What are we
6
on?
years.
2018. 6 years.
Yeah.
We're so
Oh,
old.
yeah, 2011. It was released in December 26th, I think, if I'm not mistaken. December 26th, 2017.
I recommend it.
Yep, you recommend it?
I recommend seeing it. I guess, look, not for everybody. If you are a fan of animated films or Disney Pixar, and yeah, I actually really enjoyed this, and I'm generally a cynic to these kinds of films. But no, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it's an okay family film. That's pretty much the end of my views on the subject.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go for it.
I was just going to say, if we all sound real out of it, it's because it's early and we're all very tired.
I'm not that tired.
I'm very
good.
tired.
I'm good.
So if I sound less yelly, if I'm not picking a fight with Angus today, it's because I'm too tired to.
I win, finally. I found his kryptonite. Okay, so I'm definitely going to recommend it. I think it's classic Pixar in the sense that it's really visually stunning. The animation is amazing. I think the music isn't too heavy so that people that don't like musicals will still enjoy the film. And also the fact that this is the last original Pixar film in this decade. So there's going to be no other original concepts until 2020, which is
Really?
interesting. Yeah. So we've got a few reboots coming up, like The Incredibles 2
So
is
excited
coming.
for that.
Wreck-It Ralph 2, Toy Story 4, and Frozen 2, stuff like that.
Why are they? I feel like
I
they
don't-
should leave Toy Story at 3.
I think they're probably at Cars 8,
9 or 10.
something like that.
And then,
Bikes?
then
Yeah.
planes, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd
Maybe
definitely
trains.
recommend it because I am a lover of original content. Are we good to head into spoilers, boys?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we are.
All right, sound the alarm.
Oh, what a cool sound effect, Angus. Spoilers are coming now.
All right, flop your spoilers out, boys.
Okay.
All right, Cane
Mine's
Dogs.
always out.
Cane Dogs, we're going to start with you.
Alrighty.
First of all, things that you enjoyed in the film.
Okay, yeah. As I mentioned a couple of times, the color palette in this is really refreshing. I'm not sure if we've had any animated films of recent. Actually, no. There was another animated film that apparently follows very closely along this one, and a lot of people accuse Disney of stealing it. But as I haven't heard of it or seen it, I will say that this is one of the first animated films that I know of set in Mexico. No,
Mexico.
Where are we?
Yeah, Mexico.
Yeah, cool, fantastic. Brody gave me a look that said I was wrong, and I felt awkward. No, it is one of the films that sort of is set in that part of the world. It's really refreshing to see a lot more oranges and contrasted with the blue skies that they have, and all the characters don't look like Andy from Toy Story. Everybody looks very unique in their design due to the clothes and the way they dress over there. So very bright. And then when they go into the Land of the Dead and everything's like neon, it was I actually really enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of every cheap shop ever where you can go in and buy a skull, and for some reason it's always decorated with all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool that they just decided to make that the style of like all of the dead in this film. And it looked really cool.
Apparently the directors went down and stayed in Mexico for 5 or 6 times throughout the making
For
of this
6 years. Maybe that's
film. Yeah. They got lost. They got captured. And that's where they got most of the colors from, was from the Dia del Muertos. I ruined that. But the festival, Day of the Dead festival. A lot of the art and the colors and everything is from the festival. And
it also, I thought, as the film does a great job of explaining their own version of sort of death or the afterlife and things like that. Because I was sitting there, because there are a lot of kids in the theater, obviously. I imagine both of you guys, depending on, you saw it like 10:30, so probably no kids. But there are a lot of kids, and I was wondering, this film very largely handles death in a very almost celebratory fashion, which is rare for an animated film. I think most animated films tend to steer away from any kind of death or afterlife. If someone dies, usually they're brought back to life at the end with a kiss or a spell or some bullshit like that. They straight up went to the Land of the Dead, and they dealt with someone gets forgotten and things like that. And I really enjoyed them not being too afraid to delve into the depth of the concept that once you die, you can live on through the memories of the ones you love and things like that. It's a very deep connection that I felt whilst watching the movie. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
I liked the fact that, because I came into the film and I'm like, I'm not really too knowledgeable about this culture, but it had just the right amount of explanation in the movie.
Yeah.
So it didn't sit you down and go, okay, here it is. This is this is this. But you had different characters bringing in their different ideas of what it was, and they kind of built on each other in a way that it wasn't you sitting in a classroom being like, this is what this culture means, and this is what this means. It's you're almost in the eyes of Miguel, because he's a young kid. He doesn't quite understand it yet, so he's got parents and parental figures, family figures explaining it all, and sometimes they contradict each other, so you've got to find that out for yourself, which I really like as well. It's not, this is straightforward.
It wasn't just exposition laid on you in the first 10 minutes of the film by someone that's like, now as you know, all of this.
Yeah. And I like to think that that's very realistic as well in their beliefs and their cultures.
I'd be interested
as well.
for someone that has a deeper understanding of that culture, whether they found this film to be a good depiction of it or not.
Yeah, how true it is, yeah.
If you are of that culture and listening, send a message specifically to Angus Strachan on Facebook. He loves it. He'll reply to every message you send. No. Comment and let us know, guys, whether this accurately depicted it. Because honestly, I couldn't tell you. I feel like I learnt something, but maybe I've learnt...
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe it's all wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, comment on YouTube if you're listening to on YouTube. If you're on iTunes, you can reach us at film_slice_pod on Twitter.
Cool.
Let us know if you're Mexican and you like the film.
And if it was accurate.
Maybe you
liked it and it was bollocks. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, it's an animation, so you got to take it with a pinch of salt.
Of course.
But yeah, Broadman, what was the standout for you?
Weirdly, the music. I really,
really,
I really enjoy.
You're gonna slam
the
three musical,
the musical hater, the musical hater.
Well, and enjoy the musical aspect of this.
As I said, this didn't feel like a musical to me. Like when I was going to watch it, I didn't know anything about the film. I knew the name of the film, and that was it.
Me too.
I think I knew that it was set in Mexico, and that was all I knew about the film. So I went in and then I was like, okay, they're not singing. This is good. And then he like plays guitar, and I'm like, oh, okay, I like guitarists and stuff. And then went through the film, and while they were all like still in Mexico and running around, I was sitting there and I was like, okay, I don't know if this film needed to be animated. And then right when I was thinking that, he went into the land of the dead, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can see, okay, this film needed to be animated. I really liked the way the land of the dead looked. It was like these like kind of giant towers floating in the sky with like bridges between them, and they kind of look like they've just been built on top of each other for like centuries. I actually really like that kind of style in a lot of buildings and stuff. Little gripes. I don't really know how I feel about the afterlife being a lot like real life. Like they're at train stations and they're like going through security, and they're doing all these like very kind of like
mundane
regular things.
Did you notice that all of their technology was really old as well, though? So it's like they're using dead technology.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
I didn't really like all the super colorful creatures flying around.
We're on the positives right now, but cool.
Why? Wait, no one said this was positives. that was never spoken.
Go for it.
I just didn't like that dog. I really didn't like that dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of there, and it was like, oh yeah, it's his spirit animal, I guess. And then it changes and turns into colors, and it was just a weird thing for me. I didn't really enjoy.
Yeah, I'll give that to you because you don't watch Disney, but every main character, there's a necessity to have an animal psychic. Like I'm not sure about the culture of it and whether it's a real thing or not for the animals to be like a spirit guide in that culture, but it did sometimes seem that was like a get out of jail free card.
They landed a bit too heavily on that.
Yeah,
They landed a bit too heavily on it.
Who was it? Mama Imelda's creature was like this massive
griffin with goat horns.
Yeah, it was like a griffin
I feel like
kind of
that's
looking
the
thing.
easiest way to be disappointed in the afterlife is if you get like a shit monkey.
Yeah,
that apparently doesn't have a brain, and then you look across and this other chick's got this massive flying tiger.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I did think like that was maybe a get out of jail free card, but again, I wasn't prepared to critique it just in case it was a part of that.
And oddly enough, a lot of characters just didn't have spirit animals. Hector didn't have a spirit animal.
Yeah.
What decides that?
Things that I did like. I mean, it's classic Pixar. Like you can say it's an amazing animation, but I mean, Pixar's been doing this for so long.
Well, that's what I was saying. I'm not sure.
They've been ahead of the game for so long. So. Yeah, so I mean, it is an amazing animation, don't get me wrong, but it's almost expected now, I think.
I think something I really liked is the main song, the Remember Me. Mm-hmm. I really liked that they got the audience kind of familiar with that song, and then they flipped the meaning of it kind of closer towards the end of like definitely. Where it came from and everything. And I actually liked the song, which was new.
What I will say in terms of negatives, and I think I'm almost positive both of you will agree. Was anybody surprised by the plot twist of Hector being his father, or did both of you call that in the first 5 minutes like I did?
Like, I was like, as soon as I saw the photo with the head of the father ripped off, I was like, oh, okay, there's going to be like 2 or 3 fathers.
Do it.
Yeah, I was just like, we're gonna be like,
It's like an episode of Mamma Mia.
They're gonna try and fool us into thinking that it's someone else, and it's gonna actually turn out to be someone else.
I didn't call it immediately. When I met Hector, I wasn't like, oh, it's the father. But the minute Hector was like, oh, I used to be a musician and blah, 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 and like, you know, people are forgetting me, nobody's putting my photo up, I'm like, oh, it's very clearly him.
I must have got lost because I was surprised. I was like,
Really?
What? Yeah,
I can understand that because I had one of those moments when I was 11.
That was a
Look
weird
out.
insult.
Look out, Jordan's waking
Really
up.
like
He's
that.
getting feisty. I was just following the storyline as it. The way that the story goes is you find things out as Miguel finds it out and everything. So I wasn't really trying to look past that. I was just trying to follow Miguel's train of thought and everything. It was done really well because in the start when he was looking up to his hero, he was a hero. Like even I was like, you know, when he was like, do what you can no matter what it takes, like I took that as a real positive. I'm like, yeah, you can do it. Like they flip that on its head in the story and it turns out to be a real negative because he ends up killing someone. You're like, you were my hero as well. Like I kind of had that same realization to Miguel.
It's
And
the
it was
classic
only-
never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
And if you do, only meet him for a minute. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
Don't know too much
That's
about
it.
him.
Yeah.
And it was only at that point where I realized
Did you think that the moment where it gets revealed that Hector was murdered, that felt really kind of adult and morbid to me?
Yeah.
I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, he was like murdered, and then he stole his songs and his guitar.
Yeah,
and I was
that's
like,
it.
well, that's like that really kind of shocked me in the moment because I was like, oh, happy kids film, whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, he got murdered, and it's just like,
And
it
it's
surprised me so much.
so jarring as well because like as I said, like he was the hero kind
Yeah,
of thing.
Del
And
Cruz
then-
was just totally the hero. Yeah.
Strong villain, I thought.
yeah, definitely.
And the thing that I liked is they didn't need a villain from the start of the film. The film happily carried a whole story for the first good hour, I think, before he was revealed as a villain. And I didn't feel like this film didn't have a purpose.
Yeah, that's it. Because in a way, like the family were kind of that villain at the start.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good. Cane Dogs, you didn't cry?
I didn't cry. But that all being said, I think I can only think of a handful of movies in my life that I've cried at, and none of them are in the past decade. So, not generally, like I will have very touching moments during a film, but I'm not generally one to cry in a movie. How about yourself? Did you get some waterworks out?
I thought I was good because like at the very end when like all the family is there and like you see Hector and he's back and stuff and you're like, yep, they're all good. And then I saw Mama Coco in the skeleton form and I was like on the verge, and then someone next to me started crying. I was like, and then I started crying. But yeah, I mean that's just like that's Disney Pixar though. Oh, that's like Pixar specifically. I've cried at a handful of Pixar
Closest
films
I came-
just because they're so well written and you get so connected to the characters as well.
I was going to say, the closest thing I recall to getting teary in a film is actually Toy Story 3. When you think they're all going to die.
Man, Toy Story 3.
Spoilers for Toy Story 3.
I've actually refused to watch that movie. I've only watched Toy Story 3 once, and I won't revisit it just because of how traumatic it is for me.
I've never seen it. When I watch a film, I'm very much, I guess, like an empath, where I'll pretty much just match the expressions of whatever's happening on screen. So if there's someone crying on screen, then I'll just cry. If there's someone smiling on screen, then I'll smile. And so there was no really big moments where anyone was really crying on screen. It's like even the moment where he's like singing to Hector's singing to Coco when she's a little girl, and it's kind of like this, like, oh, it's such a beautiful moment. I was just smiling because he was like really happy singing to his daughter.
All right, I like to believe that there's a movie for everyone. So with that in mind, who would you recommend this movie to?
Probably you, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anyone
I'll
that's
go
liked
see it.
any other Disney film.
If you're a
probably.
fan of what Disney Pixar have been doing recently, or if you're a parent that's forced to take your kids to things, take them to this. Question is, who is the real life Dela Cruz? Which celebrity do you think is secretly a murderer?
Oh,
It's Vin Diesel. It's definitely he killed his way to Fast and Furious.
he has to be like really positive on screen. I would say like The Rock or
The
something.
Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson, like The
He
Rock.
straight
That
up
would
murder
just-
a person.
He's probably going to murder me for destroying his reputation.
Very probably. Twist.
Yeah.
Well, what a deep and dark path I've turned us down.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's usually my job, Jordan.
Jordan, who would you kill if you had to?
For profit or pleasure?
Out of the three of us.
Business or pleasure?
Profit or pleasure?
Out of the three of us. Marry, fuck, kill.
There's two of you.
There's two of you. You've got to choose yourself for one.
Marry me.
Oh.
It's bad news for both of you.
I just thought of the last two options.
And then it's a rock, paper, scissors between you two.
Wow.
Alright, do you want to go now?
Lovely.
Okay, wait, so if you win...
If you win...
I guess you don't die.
Ready?
Ooh, shit.
I win.
Oh, looks like I'm killing Brody, and Angus, you and me are gonna get on.
Well, 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 well. I've been feeling now. I didn't actually know the lyrics. I should find the lyrics out.
Neither
sing
do
that
I.
song a lot.
And I always go into that song
I sing
for
that
romantic.
song quite a lot. Anyway, one question that I did want to pose to you, because this is a Pixar film, does this get into the Pixar theory?
Ooh. Okay, so for those that don't know, there is a theory that all the Pixar films are connected.
It's a long story, but what I'll do is I'll connect it. I'll put a link in the YouTube video down below, so you can check that.
Seriously, take a look at it, because again, when I first watched this, I couldn't care less about Disney. This actually made me more intrigued.
Now our job is to try and fit Coco into the timeline.
I feel like there's probably some reference of someone in the Land of the Dead, right? There's like someone there, and it's like the skeleton of a famous character.
Well, there's a few famous characters in the movie. There's old mate Frida. Do you remember studying her in art?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah, I felt like they hit on her a little too much. Like,
Yeah.
because it was like, oh yeah, Frida.
It was very, yeah.
And then it was like, oh yeah, here she is again.
It's me.
Oh, and she's here again.
Yeah.
Oh, and she's here again. It was like for the fourth time. I was like, okay.
Well, there were other Mexican celebrities in there, like the wrestler. He was an actual wrestler, but he was just like a cameo in the line kind of thing. But I think Frida is probably the most well-known celebrity. But yeah, again, I mean, her stuff was pretty dark, really.
Yeah.
Like her actual art was quite dark. And to put her into...
Yeah, well, she lived in pain for her entire life. Yeah.
Yeah, so... But I think it does fit into the universe, because one point that the theory picks on is the idea that emotions bring things to life. Monsters Inc., which is in kind of like the main center of this theory. Monsters Inc., like they're literally harvesting emotion for power when they go in and like they scare the kids and everything. So I think it's like there's a little nod to that in there, but I don't think there's like I don't think there's anything in there that's like a main twist in it. Like the biggest... Okay. Oh, I don't know if I should spoil it. No. Go watch the video and then let us know how you think it fits into the theory. And the whole fun of the theory is to make it work. Like it's so easy to be like, oh, well, this doesn't fit in your theory, so it's ruined. But the fun part is to make the theory work.
What I would have loved, though, can you imagine if he had like a little wrestler toy or a toy of Dela Cruz that he puts down, goes outside, and when he comes back, it's somewhere else? Just as a little nod to toys being alive. That would have been fantastic.
I did pick up, it was in like the first 5 minutes, a Pizza Planet truck went past. Yeah.
Oh, well, connected.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. It was, because Disney do that all the time. They put like little cameos of bits in there. Like, little Easter eggs. Yeah, I did try and keep a lookout for others, but I didn't see
It's hard to pay attention to the movie and look for those because they're always in the background.
It's
always like it scans through like a pic, like, you know, there might be 10 people who's framed on a wall, just strangers, and it's like one person's last name might be Lightyear or something like that. Like it's always really fun.
Actually, no, there were piñatas in the festival as well, and the piñatas. There was a Mike Wazowski piñata.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a Mike Wazowski piñata. Anyway, yeah, I think it does fit in on the Pixar theory. If you thought it fit in, let us know.
Where's the guitar? Angus will see us out with a traditional...
I can see you out. Let me just grab it. Fill the time while I grab my guitar.
Hey, Brody.
Angus can just edit it.
This one's entitled Coco. by Disney Pixar.
TM. Oh, very, very Mexico.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. We rehearsed that.
Yeah.
Not really. Brody, you forgot all your lines.
Go again.
Alright. You've already plugged us on Twitter and YouTube and all of that. Cool. We're gonna get better at editing these podcasts. Maybe we just need a sign off.
See ya.
No.
I've got a
Why are you
perfect way
guys
to
so
end this
against my?
podcast.
You like every time we talk about ending it, and I have a way to end it, and then you're just like, nah, that's not how we're gonna end it, Brady. Thanks.
You're welcome.
You've been listening to the Film Slice podcast. Thank you very much, and see you around.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I hate it when people do that, so let's not do that.
Also, tweet or Twitter.
It's just getting worse. It's just getting worse.
Coco!
Coco Loco! You just listened to the Film Slice podcast. Hope you had a bit of a fun time. You can reach us on Twitter at film_slice_pod and on YouTube and that.